Hi there. Thank you for joining us on this edition of Jamaica Magazine. We hope to inspire and inform as always. I'm Audrey Williams. Stay tuned. We will be right back.
Good day, I'm Stephen McHugh, and this is your JIS News for Friday, January 15, 2021. Prime Minister Andrew Holness has officially launched Jamaica's first public school for software developers, Amber Heart Coding Academy. The Coding Academy will significantly improve the employability of citizens, particularly the nation's youth. The first cohort will undergo an intensive one-year residency at Stony Hill Heart NSTA campus. The training also includes an internship component in which the students will work with seasoned developers on software development solutions. Upon successful completion of the program, the graduates will be guaranteed jobs at the Amber Group. Mr. Holness says the groundbreaking partnership comes at a critical time as the world battles COVID-19, which has forced everyone to utilize technology.
We wanted to create a Jamaican with the socio-emotional intelligence to be able to solve real-world problems without anger, without violence, without fear, without ignorance, but through the embrace of knowledge and reason. And when we talk about coding, that is exactly what it is.
The Coding Academy is a partnership between Heart NSTA and the Amber Group, which has developed the curriculum and the delivery of training. Prime Minister Andrew Holness thanked the Amber Group for its tremendous support to Jamaica. The group developed the Jam COVID platform that has been a cornerstone of the controlled entry program to screen and manage incoming travelers to Jamaica. Over 400,000 Jamaicans are to be vaccinated against COVID-19 within the first phase of the program. The targeted group includes persons older than 60 years, frontline workers such as healthcare, security and fire service personnel, correctional services and customs officers.
Infirmaries, members of parliament, senators, parish council representatives and other senior members of the state, residents and staff of nursing homes, and institutionalized individuals, that is, persons in the penal institutions.
The health minister, who was giving an update to Parliament on Tuesday, said the move was similar to what is being done across the world.
Vaccination of the elderly and frontline workers who are most at risk is crucial to the overall efficacy of the program. Through vaccination of the elderly, we will immediately cauterize the number of persons who have negative outcomes due to an infection of the COVID-19, and by vaccinating our frontline workers, greater levels of service delivery can be realized through the reduction of their risk profile based on an infection.
The first batch of vaccines due in April 2021 has been increased from 1% to 5% of the population, which represents a total of 292,000 doses, enough to vaccinate approximately 146,000 Jamaicans. Meanwhile, 6 private laboratories now have the benefit of 30,000 antigen test kits to support national testing efforts for COVID-19. This follows the handover of a donation of test kits by the Ministry of Health and Wellness to the labs on Thursday.
This is another example of public-private partnership around testing as part of our COVID response as a country, both government and the private sector. And so my first general statement is that this is another case of us working together as a team, as a country, in order to protect our population, whether our locals or those who visit with us.
Dr. Tufton says the donation of 30,000 SD biosensor test kits will support the laboratory's offering of testing beginning next Monday. The labs are 6 of 8 that have been trained and approved to administer the test. They include Microlabs Limited, Biomedical, MD Link, Winchester Medical, Technological Solutions Limited, and Bay West Wellness. Dr. Tufton says the Ministry of Health is also working with 4 other private entities to offer the gold standard PCR test.
I am told that within the next 2 to 4 weeks, those entities should be in a position to offer additional capacity around PCR testing.
Minister of Tourism Edmund Bartlett has named a special task force to spearhead efforts to boost Jamaica's COVID-19 testing capacity. This is a direct response to the growing demand for such tests, fueled by new travel requirements in key tourism source markets. The changes include new testing requirements by the United States and Canada, which are among the country's largest tourism source markets. Mr. Bartlett says the task force will collaborate with the Health Ministry to amplify Jamaica's capacity to facilitate wide-scale COVID-19 testing for visitors to the island. He adds that consultation will be undertaken with local and international partners to develop innovative solutions. The U.S. Centers for Disease Control and Prevention has issued an order requiring all airline passengers from international destinations to show proof of a negative COVID-19 test before boarding flights to the U.S. The new order is slated to take effect on January 26. This follows the introduction of a similar COVID-19 test requirement by Canada and the United Kingdom, which requires all passengers flying to these countries to present negative test results in order to facilitate entry or avoid self-quarantine. The task force is led by Minister Bartlett and includes members of the Jamaica Hotel and Tourist Association, the Caribbean Hotel and Tourism Association, the Tourism Product Development Company, the Sandals Group, the Tourism Linkages Network Council, the Chukka Caribbean Adventures, and the COVID-19 Resilient Corridor. And finally, the Ministry of Education, Youth and Information has handed over a 10-classroom block and sanitary facilities to the Marley Mount Primary and Infant School. The new dormitory at the institution is under Phase 1 of a $171 million project to solve overcrowding problems at the St. Catherine-based school. The school was built to facilitate 600 children, and currently there are 1,600 students enrolled. The project was implemented by the Jamaica Social Investment Fund and financed by the Caribbean Development Bank Basic Needs Trust.
The development of the infrastructure of school plants is an important aspect of our overall investment in education. And we at the ministry are pleased for this collaborative project.
Ground was also broken at the school for Phase 2 of the project, which will include 4 new classrooms, a linkway to the existing infant department, fencing and sanitation facilities. And that's it for JIS News Today. I'm Stephen McHugh. Thanks for watching.
The Cannabis Licensing Authority is committed to supporting the creation of a regulatory framework for the growth and sustainability of Jamaica's medical cannabis industry. We carefully assess application forms for businesses and individuals interested in becoming partners in the industry. Along with other ministries, departments of government and agencies, the authority endeavors to preserve the integrity of the industry through compliance. This is all done to ensure that the industry is operating in conformity with Jamaica's international obligations. Call or visit our website to find out more about the work of the Cannabis Licensing Authority.
COVID may have curtailed sports and entertainment activities in 2020, but the Portfolio Ministry helped practitioners to stay afloat and identify new avenues of connecting with people, all while advancing gender affairs. The Year in Review is next.
I remain hopeful because of the giftedness of the Jamaican people, their warmth and creativity, their dynamism and indomitable spirit that have resulted in excellence in all sectors.
2020 was an eventful year for the Ministry of Culture, Gender, Entertainment and Sport. 2020 witnessed several advancements in gender equality and the fight to end gender-based violence. The ministry signed a memorandum of understanding with the University of the West Indies Open Campus to conduct anti-sexual harassment training of managers and workers in the public and private sectors. Parliament made progress in its review of the Sexual Harassment Bill.
We have been receiving submissions from members of the public, and we will take each comment, critique, and suggestion into consideration.
The Bureau of Gender Affairs expanded access to information, making all its domestic violence brochures available in Braille.
This is the brochure, and this is the one in Braille.
With funding from the European Union, the $10.6 million Spotlight Initiative was launched to eliminate all forms of violence against women and girls. To strengthen that initiative, the ministry later signed an implementing partnership agreement with the United Nations Population Fund, UNFPA. And in a landmark move, Jamaica's first state-run shelter for victims of domestic abuse opened its doors in 2020.
The numbers for the shelter, 876-553-0372 or 876-929-2997.
Culture and Tourism partnered early in 2020 to mark a new dawn for Port Royal. In support of the newly opened cruise port, the Culture Ministry engaged residents in economic enabling training programs.
There are a number of artisans from Port Royal who have made jewelry, they've done batik, they've done chasing, they've done a lot of craft items, and they're now benefiting from what Port Royal has to offer by being able to sell their craft to visitors.
In February, 29 days of diverse island-wide activities were successfully executed in commemoration of Reggae Month.
1, 2, 3, and 4.
That same month, the ministry partnered with the Kingston and St. Andrew Municipal Corporation to unveil the first mural under its multidimensional mural project titled Paint Up a Creative Space.
Artistic talent will be drawn from communities to reflect our identity, our beauty, our vitality, and to transmit positive messages and images.
It aims to use art as a focal point and attract visitors to communities within the capital city. Development work began at the Civil Heritage Park in St. Anne late in the year. And the ministry submitted yet another Jamaican cultural form, revivalism, religious practice of Jamaica, to UNESCO for inscription on its prestigious representative list of the intangible cultural heritage of humanity. One of the ministry's first acts for the sports sector in 2020 was to honor one of its modern stars. The statue, unveiled for two-time world record holder Asafa Powell, was the fourth and final under the ministry's Jamaica 55 Legacy Program.
I congratulate you, Asafa, for your magnificent talent, your endurance, and more than anything else, your humility.
To ensure the continued integrity of the sports sector, Minister Grange handed over the island's first ever National Anti-Doping Mobile Unit to the Jamaica Anti-Doping Commission, JADCO. Culture, gender, entertainment, and sport were all impacted by the COVID-19 pandemic, but their parent ministry rose to the challenge. All athletic and entertainment events were cancelled in order to contain the spread of the virus.
It is clear that the most vulnerable players in the creative and athletic sectors need support, and we have been providing support in a number of ways.
A $40 million special support package was approved in July.
The $40 million is in addition to the amounts that will be paid to creative practitioners under the CARE program directly from the Ministry of Finance.
Work also started on the establishment of a new athletes management system and registry that will better assess the needs of athletes as they emerge from the pandemic.
I appeal to athletes, coaches, and other stakeholders in the sports sector to sign up to the registry.
For the first time in history, the Independence and Festival celebrations were held virtually, and the winners of the various national competitions were selected by popular vote. And the ministry made the festival song competition a global affair, as the top 10 entries were available for download and/or streaming on international music platforms.
By listing on these music streaming and download platforms, we have taken the competition to the world, creating the opportunity for the participants to maximize their earnings through their creative works. So every time there's streaming or every time there's a download, those participants will be earning. The writer will be earning, the performer will be earning, and the producer will be earning.
On the gender affairs, when the pandemic forced the temporary closure of the Women's Center of Jamaica Foundation, the ministry provided what is called dignity packages to the affected adolescent mothers and expectant mothers. Minister Olivia Grange also harnessed the combined power of her various portfolios to boost the country's overall COVID-19 response.
Our artists rose to the challenge and joined with my ministry, with the Ministry of Foreign Affairs and Foreign Trade, as well as the Global Jamaica Diaspora Council, in staging a remarkably successful telethon Jamaica titled Together We Stand, that raised approximately $60 million to bolster the country's response to COVID.
$2 million raised during the online and live broadcasts was forwarded to the National Health Fund to procure personal protective equipment for frontline workers. Despite its many challenges and setbacks in 2020, the Ministry of Culture, Gender, Entertainment and Sport made strategic moves to ensure the country is building forward together.
Join us on January 21 to see how the Ministry of Housing, Urban Renewal, Environment and Climate Change leveraged partnerships to advance Jamaica's development agenda in 2020. That's highlights of the year that was in the Ministry of Housing, Urban Renewal, Environment and Climate Change. January 21, right here on this station.
If you are passionate about food and someday hope to become an entrepreneur in the hospitality industry, then the Heart NSTA Trust, more specifically the Ebony Park Heart Academy, can provide you with the necessary skills you need to take charge regardless of your age. Take a look.
Tourism and agriculture have been like Siamese twins from day one. 88% of the world travels for food experiences. And that 42% of the expenditure of all the visitors over the world is on food.
It's for reasons such as this that the Ebony Park Heart Academy has been invested in producing top-class chefs and entrepreneurs to fill industry demands.
What Heart is doing for students is that we are empowering our students. We want them to not just get a skill, but get the skill and make it useful. Open up their own business, have an entrepreneurship mind where you don't normally just have to work for people. We want to target everybody, those that are not doing anything, those that are at home not doing anything, those that feel like, boy, I'm too old and I really can't go back to school. We are for everybody. I want to target everybody in Jamaica because we want to empower our nation. And this is where it starts. We offer a wide variety of hospitality courses such as commercial food preparation, level 2, food and beverage service, level 3. But for this one now that we are focusing on today is the commercial food preparation level 2, where they learn a variety of things. They learn from pastries and to savory cooking. We actually have our own farm where we produce most of the items that we use. The pepper, we have our agro-processing units that gather the food and they process it and bottle it, and we use those products. So we don't normally buy a lot of produce out there on the street because we have our own processing units, our own farm, our own crops, produce, everything.
Meet Amaria Bryan, a commercial food preparation student at the Ebony Park Art Academy. At the 67th staging of the Denby Agricultural Industrial Food Show, Amaria showed off what Hart is teaching him with a scrumptious meal of chicken pasta stir-fry.
I do on-the-job training. So basically for a year I work at the Ebony Park training restaurant meanwhile I am training. So there are days when I have to go in the kitchen to cook for people who are buying food at the restaurant. And we have to do this to attain our grade. And based off our performance, we are graded, and then based off that, we get our certificate. What we did, we add a little twist to it and add an Alfredo sauce. So we basically just build a new recipe on spot, and we just call it chicken Alfredo. And in this, we have sweet pepper of different colors. We have ginger, we have salt, we have a little pinch of salt. We have basically what we was aiming for, we wanted to go natural, so we had no powder seasons. And we had two different types of cheese. We have mozzarella, which give it the body, and we had pepper jack cheese, which give it the flavor and give it a little spiciness. And we had sweet corns, we had blanched carrots, yes, and we have a little clove to give it a little kick. And basically, those are the main ingredients in the pasta. And we just add a little bit of brandy to bring out the flavor in the chicken breast and to basically give it the flambe, the fire effect. That's what we did. And this dish can be prepared in about 5 to 7 minutes. Basically, I have to give the chicken breast time to cook, and the chicken breast cook very quickly. I just recently completed level 2, and I'm actually doing voluntary service here at Denby. And what I plan to do, I plan to do level 3. That's the supervisory level, chef de partie, under the same commercial food preparation. And after I finish that, I plan to work in the hotel, get some experience, but my ultimate goal is to work on the cruise ship and then in the Burj Khalifa at Dubai. Hart has created basically what we call a workforce database where they invest in their trainees, and then they produce them out into the workforce, and they basically have a lot of jobs waiting for us. So once a lot of hotels here at Ebony Park, then they want to take us. Some of them don't even want to interview you. They just want to know you're coming from Ebony Park, and then they just grab it because they know Ebony Park produces the best trainees, the best chefs you can find in Jamaica and on the cruise ship.
Students have worked in our major hotels in Jamaica. Even though I have students at the Rio Hotel, I have students at Sandals, I have students at Hilton. They're all over the place. I have students who are overseas now, who are in the hospitality area, and most of them are chefs. That's what they do, that's what they love, so they just go there. The sky's the limit for them, and they just want to do more, they want to learn more. So even though we teach them here, they always have a passion to know more about this foods, because it's so wide, it's so fun. I don't even know what to tell you, but it's a whole lot in one little package that you can get so much from.
If you want to grab your piece of the pie, but you're scared because you have no certifications in the subject area, don't worry. A mathematics and English entry test are available to process your application. So ask yourself this: what exactly is stopping you from starting your journey?
Since the first case of COVID-19 in Jamaica, households have been stocked with cleaning supplies, alcohol-based products, and other items in hopes of staying clear of the virus. But did you know that misuse of these products can lead to poisoning? Learn how to prevent poisoning at any time.
Limiting our household's risk to COVID-19 has increased our storage and use of certain products, which may be harmful when misused. Disinfectants such as bleach, rubbing alcohol, vinegar, and hand sanitizers, though used increasingly to protect against the novel coronavirus COVID-19, can cause poisoning. So too the misuse of medication, dish soap and laundry detergent, toilet and drain cleaners, polishes and waxes, all-purpose cleaners, insect sprays as well as shampoos and conditioners, nail polish and nail polish removers, makeup and lotions. Once you've used sanitizers such as bleach, store in a cupboard with a lock. If items are discarded in the bin, take out the garbage promptly as fumes may build. Children should always be supervised when using soap and hand sanitizers. If you've used cleaners to sanitize children's toys, be sure to let them air dry before they are returned, and keep cleansers in their original bottles, not in food containers. Never mix household cleaners as they can cause noxious fumes. When using certain chemicals such as bleach, turn on the fan. Open doors and windows to aerate the area. And be sure to wear gloves, long-sleeve shirts, long pants, socks and shoes when using certain chemicals such as pesticides. Improper use of prescription and over-the-counter medication, multivitamins and other pharmaceuticals could result in organ damage or death. It's especially important to properly store these and other potentially harmful substances away from children's reach. Store medication in a chest. Don't share prescription medication. Never take more than the recommended dose of medication. Before administering medication, properly read labels. Store medication in its original container, and be sure to dispose unused and expired prescription drugs. A member of your household may be suffering from poisoning if he or she has burns or redness around the mouth and lips or along the hands and legs, smells of chemicals, has difficulty breathing, nausea, diarrhea or vomiting, is experiencing drowsiness or confusion, dizziness, blurred vision or headache, as well as rapid heart rate or low blood pressure. If you see these symptoms, call the police 119 numbers or the Caribbean Poison Information Network at 876-537-5564. When you make contact, be sure to have the age and sex of the person, the poison taken, and the symptoms the person is exhibiting. While you wait for help to arrive, here are some tips you can use. If the poison has been ingested, remove anything that's still in the victim's mouth. Don't induce vomiting or give the victim a drink or food unless told to do so by emergency responders. For eyes which have come in contact with poison, open and close eyes while rinsing with low-pressure water for at least 15 minutes. Victims of inhaled poison should be taken to get fresh air immediately. And those who've been exposed to poisoning on the skin, remove contaminated clothing and rinse skin for at least 15 minutes. We know these are trying times, and with children being at home throughout the day, their curious nature is increased and they go exploring. That's why it's important that as a family, we are extremely vigilant in ensuring our children are properly supervised and cleaners and medicine are stored out of their reach.
If I cancel them you off, make sure you gon' get them done. That is how we are go trace them, identify them, tag it and trace it. Prevent disease from spreading, your health is worth defending. Tag it and trace it. You never think fi hide, tag them with pride. Help put the coat even out the style. Tag it and trace it.
A message from the Agricultural Competitiveness Program of the Ministry of Industry, Commerce, Agriculture and Fisheries.
And this marks the end of today's magazine. As always, thank you for being a part of our journey. For more inspiring and informative content, subscribe to our YouTube channel, follow us on all our social media platforms, and visit our website at jis.gov.jm. I'm Audrey Williams. Walk good.
This has been a production of the Jamaica Information Service, the voice of Jamaica.